Hello everyone. In today's episode, we will discuss and analyze the manifestation methods of a very special man. This man had tremendous success with manifesting his desires using only his imagination, and he's none other than the father of Neville Goddard. Although he was extremely successful in his personal life, but his imagination and belief may have brought about one of the greatest tragedies this world has ever experienced. Make sure to stick till the very end to find out. The stories of Joseph N. Goddard, who is Neville Goddard's father, are not easy to find. Neville Goddard has told us about his father in bits and pieces during some of his lectures, so a fair bit of research was required to compile all the information. This video will give you a sense of who he was, what his desires were, and how exactly did he use his imagination to manifest his desires. We will also go into an in-depth analysis of his methods so that you can take his formula and apply it to your personal situation. So, if you have not already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and notification icon to never miss a video from this channel. Also, please hit the like button to help us reach more people and create the best community of deliberate creators. Joseph N. Goddard lived from November 24th, 1874 to October 31st, 1959. He was married to Wilhelmina Goddard, who bore him 12 children, but 2 died at birth. He and his wife came from poor families. However, he not only succeeded in providing for himself, his wife, his mother, 10 children, and several servants, he actually left an abundant fortune for each of his children individually. First of all, he credited his knowledge of the law of assumption and the practice of his imagination for his success. For the very first time, Joseph heard his son Neville speak at one of his events in New York City. He told Neville that everything you have said is true, but why do you ask people to close their eyes? Do not close your eyes, keep them partly shut. You can control your imagination and you can control your attention better if the eyes are not completely closed. When you see me in the morning after breakfast, reclining in my chair, you might think that I'm just sleeping it off because I'm a heavy drinker. But I'm not sleeping off anything. I'm doing my day's work then. I bring before my mind's eye the men that I want to deal with that day, and I control the conversation. I tell them exactly what I want to tell them, as though it were true. I let them, and then when I'm completely satisfied with my inner conversation, then I go to town, and it works that way. In another instance, Neville told us that his father Joseph would close business deals in his imagination. Soon enough, the person he would imagine closing the business deal with would come up making his business proposal. Now let's get to the analysis of his mental activities, and then I will tell you the great tragedy he probably single-handedly brought to the world. Joseph's great manifestation capabilities lay in his mental conversations. He mostly used conversations. He would use sometime in the morning while he was still a bit drowsy after waking up to run his mental conversations. If you know anything about Neville Goddard, you will know that this is the state akin to sleep. He felt that keeping his eyes, he ran the conversation in his head until he was completely satisfied. How did he run his mental conversations? He would bring a person into his mind's eye who he would deal with that day. Then he would tell them something which could only be said if his desires had truly manifested, and then he would hear that person say something that would again confirm to him that his desire had manifested. Let's run an example here. Let's say he wanted to import a certain product and sell it to the local people, but he needed funding for his business. He would bring in front of his mind's eye the man who he thinks could be a potential investor. Then he would pitch the idea of the great product he intends to import. Then he would ask this potential investor if he would like to invest in his business. Then he would hear the investor say or confirm that he would be delighted to go into partnership with him. So he ran dialogues in his mind instead of monologues. Dialogues are more powerful than monologues, as you suppress your subconscious with the idea of your manifestation twice from 2 different angles. You actively imagine yourself doing something that you would want to do, and then you passively receive the confirmation of your desire fulfilled. This allows you to suppress your subconscious with the idea that your desire has manifested much more effectively. Joseph would continue to do it until he felt totally satisfied. What does it mean? It is probably the most important part of the process. Here, being satisfied means that the whole imaginal act felt very natural to him. If you practice imaginal acts, you will notice that there is a tipping point when something feels natural. It is similar to learning how to ride a bike or to learn a new skill. In the beginning, all the information that you're learning seems foreign. You have to put effort into thinking that you would have to pedal the bike, and then you hit a certain momentum, you can keep riding further. Then you start to worry if you're going to fall, so you pedal faster. Now you're trying to slow down because you're going too fast. Effort involved. But when you practice for a bit, your body becomes one with the bike. Your mind does not have to think so much, it is natural, and all the next steps are just happening one by one. When Joseph imagined till he was satisfied, he was making it natural. Maybe in the beginning he had to pause to think what the other person was going to say. Maybe the image of the person he brought into his mind's eye did not have the right expressions. But he perfected the scene with repetition, and the whole scene felt naturally aligned with his belief. The last component of his imaginal practice was that he played his mental scenes while he was in a state akin to sleep, aka SATS. What is SATS? Neville Goddard has taught that the time when ideas of the conscious mind are most likely to be impressed upon the subconscious is when a person is in a drowsy state, somewhere between awake and asleep. Most people go into this state every day at least twice, once before going to bed and once after waking up. And Joseph would use the sets right after waking up. Now, a disclaimer. After studying and practicing these methods for many years, as well as listening to other people's experiences, I can tell you that you can manifest perfectly well without going into sets. The most important thing is to imagine till everything feels natural. However, it is better if you can relax your mind before performing your imaginal acts. Now, I will tell you what you've been waiting to hear. What tragedy did Joseph bring? Joseph used to live in Barbados, and he was a ship's chandler. He talked to many people who could provide him with valuable insights. So in 1919, he sat at a table for a meal with his family and told his wife, "There will be a war in 20 years, we'll see. It will be in fall. Germany will again be at war with England. Japan will be in it, and Russia and Italy. America will be our great ally." His wife said, my boys will be of the age to go to that war. What are you talking about?" He said, it will be true, and already all the ships are discussing it. Well, as you know, that World War II broke out in 1939. Did Joseph cause it? Well, when your mental image manifests in 3D reality, it happens in such a natural way that it always seems that it was bound to happen. Thank you for staying till the end. Let me know in the comments what you think about the inner conversation technique. This is something that Neville Goddard has discussed many times in different examples. And also make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification icon to stay up to date with all the law of attraction contents. And also please hit the like button. Until next time, happy manifesting.